Hi, welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about a topic. If you're like me and you find yourself falling into the same relationship pattern over and over and just thinking maybe I have bad luck in dating or maybe the apps suck, which they do. Um, but sorry. I mean, it works for some people, but basically, if you have found this channel, most likely you already know about the subconscious ruling your decisions and pulling you into these toxic relationships. So, yes, that is subconscious brain at work. Um, but how can we actually prevent this thing from happening as we're on our relationship healing journey? And or just our subconscious healing journey in general. Um, I think a key piece is identifying what need did that person meet, and if you're able to figure out a way, like, okay, I need to meet this need like every day for myself. Like, how can I get this need met so that I'm not starving? And when someone unhealthy comes along and provides these little, breadcrumbs, how can I just like see it for what it is and move on without getting drawn into this bullshit? So for me, as a fearful, avoidant, leaning, anxious person, here I'm talking the talk and all the lingo, but it totally makes sense. So I was doing a little digging. I'm like, okay, what need was being met? And I realized I was like, okay, he he did not meet any emotional needs, but he met this need that was like knowing part about me. So feeling known is like, I think everyone has that need, honestly. So how I'm testing it out, like you want to meet it on your own, right? So then you're not starving. So how I'm like trying to feed this bucket on my own, I started kind of opening up to women in my gym, and oh my God, it's just like, and these women, like, they care and they give you the emotional attunement, and like, why was I don't know. I feel like I just never really had women growing up. Like, I just didn't really have that attachment with women. Um, That's something more maybe to dig into in another talk. But yeah, I've been recently really trying to, tap into this market of women. I mean, they're so kind. And if you have like, honestly, like if you're dealing with any sort of like loneliness or anything, like if you went fully remote during COVID and you're maybe like still trying to get out there and reclaim like being a human again. I think it's really important to find a community that really resonates with your values and your style. And for me, it was, Pilates and jujitsu. I feel like that's like all I talk about on this channel, like somehow, but like honestly, it's been so healing. And, it's not the same as a community at work. Like these are your coworkers. And I think all too often it's like very corporate and like you're not really feeling like, oh, this company cares so much about me. Yeah, there's companies out there that do give you that feeling, but I would say build your network of people in a community that you feel aligned to. And if you can start testing out the waters, especially if you're like more avoidant, I would say test out the waters, like start opening up about little things about you. And I think I shared in another video where I was like, it was bad for a while. Like I was so I was so to myself where like when I started at the gym, and this is before I even knew about attachment styles, I like somebody asked me a question, and it's like after rolling where your inhibitions are gone, and you're just somebody asked me a question like, "What are you doing on the weekend?" And I answered. I was just like, as soon as I answered, I'm like, "Oh my God, someone knows something about," like, because I don't know what it was. I mean, it's like being no, like saying too much is like too vulnerable, and now I have a better understanding of what was happening. But at the time, like, I was just like, oh my God, I said too much. And I mean, now I'm like, I'm just being candid and opening up. People know about me, and it's like, yeah, I'm like becoming a person again. And I mean, I'm on my way, trying. And I think, it's important to realize that, you're not alone out there like making these decisions that are run by, your patterns, your learned patterns over the years. And, we're lucky to be in an age where we can do so much more digging and have more exposure to research and science. And, um, yeah, if you are working on training, or rewiring your subconscious and everything, I think making sure to one, identify what was the need being met in my last relationship that was like toxic, or go down the list, like break it all out. What were all the needs that these guys met? And I think if you make a plan for yourself, how can I start meeting these needs? I don't think it has to be anything like huge, but I think this has been a big discovery for me, learning that women are going to be healing for me. And I never really had that before. And I mean, I don't know what it is. I still have like these trust things coming up. And yeah, I think just like with time and experience, like I can trust these people. And um yeah, I think that's really the thing, like testing and like experimenting, because if you're just going to keep doing the same thing, then nothing's going to change. So making small little efforts here and there, like, oh, I'll open up to this person, she seems cool, and see what happens, because I think people more often than not will surprise you. And yeah, I don't think that there's a need to be so intimidated. I think sometimes, like, maybe it's hard to approach women, like, if they're more reserved, and you can't read them. Yeah, it's like, how do I approach this person? But yeah, I think as long as you're in like a safe environment and like a community that's pretty aligned, I think it's safe to test it out there. So yeah, I hope that this brought at least a little bit of insight as you are going on your journey and figuring things out. So if you like the content, go ahead and subscribe and like the channel video. It was nice to see you all here, and see you in the next one.